So Saturday sees the return to London Stadium of the former West Ham. And I don't know whether I should call him hero, because he's certainly not a hero at the minute. And as you can see there, what I've done to his stall, he ain't going to like me none too much. But we'll get into that. I am joined by Mike. How are you, Mike?
I'm very well, thank you, mate. Thanks for having me on.
Good. And obviously people will recognise you because obviously you pop up quite regularly on the Hammers Chat fan cams.
I do, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of infamy there. So thanks for joining us. And guys at home, if you could do us a favour, just a couple of things. Drop a like on the stream because that helps get the old algorithms on YouTube doing things that I quite frankly don't understand, but it gets this stuff to places it otherwise wouldn't get. Just check on the bottom as well to make sure that you've subscribed. Click that. If you aren't subscribed, it takes literally a tap on a mouse button. It doesn't cost you a copper coin. We don't have your data sensitive information, and we grow the channel as one. What's not to like? Also, we want your comments in the section below and we'll get stuck into it. So, Mike, Mohammed Kudus, obviously he joined the club under the David Moyes era, his last season as West Ham United manager. What was your initial thoughts of Mohammed Kudus in a West Ham shirt? Was he someone that you thought was, you looked up to, you thought was a good egg? What was your initial feelings on him?
Yeah, I mean, when we first signed him, I was really excited about him coming. Looked a quality player. Looked to have a lot about him. I was really excited to what he could bring to the team. So yeah, at first, really, really happy. And his first season was good. He was good and strong and unplayable at times. And I didn't get the impression that there was anything bad from him personality wise, but it's sort of, you get the impression that actually maybe there was.
Yeah, when he first came, it was he burst onto the scene. He had energy, he had vibrancy, he had a certain. I think he played like a player with a bit of a point to prove. And when I sort of stop and I look back, that kind of then makes me go, yes, a point to prove. But I think interlinked with that was probably this feeling that we were purely a stepping stone. And I know some people turn around and say that they don't mind that fact. I'm not in love with the fact that we're viewed that way by some players. What about you?
Yeah, not really. I think I can see why people say it, and I can see sometimes why players might see it as that. I mean, if you're a stepping stone to Real Madrid, that's okay.
Yeah.
If you're stepping stone to Spurs,
it's
not much of a step, is it? To be fair,
yeah.
They're a better club than us at the moment, but that's not always
Yeah.
been the case, and that won't always be the case.
Mm.
So yeah, I don't really like the sound of it. I think West Ham's a much bigger club than a lot of people realise. And when you speak to when you see old player interviews, and you see a lot of. There was one with I haven't watched it all yet, but with Julian Felber. I can't remember how you pronounce his name, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But he was doing, and he was saying you don't realise what West Ham is about until you come and play for them. And then you sort of go, wow, this is actually quite a big club, much bigger than you realised, and like the fan base is enormous. We always think about West Ham is massive and that sort of thing, but I just don't think people realise how enormous this club is. So yeah, no, I don't like the stepping stone thing of it. Yeah, I'm with you, mate, to be honest.
Yeah, it's something that grates my gears a little bit. And then we sort of moved into the second season of the Mohammed Kudus at London Stadium era. And there was a noticeable drop off in productivity. And I know, and this was always something, and I'd like to know what you think about this, Mike. There was people that turned around and said, you're not playing him in his favoured position. And whilst I have a degree of understanding with that narrative, there's also a part of me that thinks, well, if he's as good a player as people purport that him to be, he would find a way to succeed. I believe that the great players in the history of the game, you could have played Johan Cruyff at right back. You could have played Diego Maradona at left back. It wouldn't have mattered where you put these great players in the game. They would succeed. And I think that to turn around and just say, oh, it was because he was playing on the left and that wasn't where you'd get the most out of him. I just sit there and go, I don't think, okay, maybe he wouldn't be as effective, but he was, in my view, completely ineffective in that position. It was like he
Yeah.
just tried.
Yeah. No, I agree, mate, to be honest. I think ultimately he's a winger inside forward. So whether he's playing to the right of a striker or to the left of a striker, I really don't see how that makes much difference. All right, yes, if you're a left footer on the right hand side, you like to cut inside and shoot, fine. But if you're a left footed player playing to the left of a forward, you can still skin a defender and whip a ball in. So what I'm trying to get, you're all right. Your goal contributions should still be there or thereabouts. You might have more assists and less goals, but you should still have contributions there. And he's quick and powerful. Whether you're doing it on the right or whether you're doing it on the left, you should be able to do it. And for someone that thinks as highly of himself as he does, yeah, he should have been putting in much better games than he did. He was atrocious in the last season. He was awful last year.
Did you notice, Mike, that in the games against the Sky Sports top six, he seemed to up his game, and I don't know whether I was imagining it. And probably the one exception that I'll put in there, ironically enough, was the game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium when we got done 4-1 and he got sent off.
Well,
But other than that,
right out the pram, didn't
yeah, he did, and it was quite ironic that just under a year later he's playing for these lot. But it did seem to me when we played Arsenal, when we played Man United, when we played Man City, I looked at him, and I don't know whether it was perception. I don't know if it was reality, but I was watching him, and I'm thinking he actually looks okay in this game. Let's hope he can take this into the next game. And then you'd play Brentford, or you'd play Aston Villa, or you'd play Everton. And I'm not trying to sort of talk those teams down, but they weren't the top six clubs. And all of a sudden, his effectiveness just went back to where it was before, which was pretty low.
Yeah, I agree. And also, even in the games where he seemed more effective, or he certainly appeared to be more effective, he still ended up running up blind alleys sometimes. In the first season, he was unplayable first season. He was so strong, like they were saying in training, you just couldn't get the ball off him and stuff like that. And he had a good first season. I mean, did he get found out, or did his temperament come out? And I think maybe there's a bit of that. Maybe his ceiling was a lot lower than people realised. Like his first season was probably maybe that was his ceiling. I don't know, but his temperament definitely came out. I think the Tottenham game was definitely an indication of what he was actually like. Because I mean, he lost his rag quite unnecessarily, really. I mean, I know we lost and we were losing, and I know it's a London derby, a close. Ultimately, Tottenham's our closest rival, really, in geographically, aren't they? A couple of miles down the road. So it's always going to be a feisty game. But I mean, he proper lost his rag. I mean, I like someone to have a bit about them, a bit of spirit and a bit of bite. But you got to do it in the right way, into a crunchy tackle, or really putting it out there. I don't know. I don't think that's what he was doing. I don't think that's what he was doing in that game.
No. And if we then get to the sort of like the summer, and obviously there was a lot of talk about him moving on. How disappointed are you as a West Ham fan, same as I, in that there was this £85 million clause? And whilst I accept that on the basis of the performances he put in last season, £85 million was unrealistic, and to placate profit and sustainability rules, perhaps we needed to sell him as an asset to balance the books. I'm on board with that. But given that he went on for £30 million less than that release clause, do you think we got done?
Yeah, we did. We got bent right over. There's no two ways about that. I mean, all right, maybe given the season that he had before was maybe 85 was a bit unrealistic, but I think if you'd have said to anyone that maybe 65 million, maybe 70 million, I think most people would have gone, yeah, all right, we can reinvest that. But 55 million, it didn't sit right with me. One, the amount, and two, going to Spurs, really, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's the
I
thing.
wasn't very
Really
happy that we sold Declan. I wasn't very happy that we sold Declan to Woolwich. So, but we got good money for him.
Yeah.
But Kudus for 55 million to Tottenham, and it was like they was the only gig in town, so they were like, "Oh yeah, we'll give you this, and you can thank us for it."
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, so I get the impression maybe he just wanted to go. But I think there was maybe a little bit more legwork that could have been done with Chelsea, because they went out and bought players in his position, didn't they? It's not like they weren't looking for someone like that. So yeah, I do. We got bent right over.
Yeah.
Project.
So what are you thinking will be the welcome, if that's the right word, that the faithful of the London Stadium are going to give Mohammed Kudus? Now, I say that, and there was a report that he took a bit of a knock during the international break playing for Ghana, but I'm led to understand it's not going to stop him being involved. So I expect him to start, and I'm pretty sure he will want to start. I'm pretty sure that he will want to come out onto the London Stadium with his new club and show us what he's all about and silence us. But he's going to get a reception and a half, isn't he?
I think so. Yeah, in actual fact, actually, funnily enough, thinking about it today, I was driving back from football and I started thinking about the game at the weekend, and I thought, I wonder how Kudus is going to get on. But I don't. I think he's going to. I don't think he's going to get a very good reception.
No,
I really don't, and nor should he, because he was crap last year.
Yeah.
You really get the impression, reading between the lines, that he actually caused a bit of aggro between both managers, because there was two managers there last season, weren't there?
Yeah.
So I think he caused a bit of aggro between two of them, and then again, you kind of get the impression that he stamped his feet and wanted to move, and
he got it.
Yeah, he did, and he had no love for us. He had no love for us, because even when if you go into a new team, if you got something about you and the media are saying, "Oh, you got to do this and you got to do that," you can turn around and go, "Can we do it a different way?" Because I don't want, I've got a bit of love for my old club. I don't really want to wind them up. I enjoyed my time there, and I'm thankful for what happened while I was there. You can do that. You don't have to do what they say. Yeah. So, I really hope that he gets a really bad reception. Someone kicks him right up in the air, and he throws his toys out the pram and has a right stinker.
And gets sent off.
Yeah, lovely. That'd be brilliant.
Yeah, brilliant.
Do you want someone to go through him? Trouble is, we ain't got no one like that anymore, have we? Nobes would have. He would have gone through him. Alvarez don't play for us anymore.
Can't we bring Nobes out of retirement?
Oh, I'd love to. That'd be brilliant, wouldn't it? Just for the first half, maybe.
That would be epic. So, any final thoughts ahead of the game, Mike? Any final thoughts you want to get out there for consideration?
I think it'll be a tough game. I think they're in a funny little situation. They've won the first 2 games, beating Burnley at a canter, and then Man City. Man City don't look very good, and then they've lost to Bournemouth, who are a decent side. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a tough game. I fancy us to get a point out of it, if I'm honest. I think we might get a point out of that.
Do you think he's going to score? Do you think we're going to see that poxy stall?
I think it's just like him to do it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
like I say, I've got me sore at the ready, mate. Don't worry. If I see it, I'm going for it. I'm having it.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did, if I'm honest. But
yeah,
I just hope we get some. I don't expect us to win. I think if we can build, I mean, from our point of view, I think if we can build on the last game and get a point, I think that's a really good couple of games. Because Spurs, they're going to be up there, aren't they? They're going to be in the European places, I'd imagine, this season. They've got a good squad. They've invested well. Frank's a good manager. So, they're not going to be down where they were last season with us, where we were last season. So I think if we can build on it, really good result against Forest, if we can get a point against them, I'll be pleased with that. Anything more, brilliant. Of course I'd take it. But if you can get a point, I think I'll be happy.
Thanks a lot, Mike. And thanks you guys at home watching this. Don't forget, before we knock it on the head, to drop a like on the stream. Make sure you've hit subscribe as well. And remember, it doesn't cost you a copper coin, and it just takes a couple of seconds of your time. And we don't have any of your data sensitive information. Also, don't forget the Iron Supporting Food Banks. Their link is in the description of below. You can give your hard-earned cash to people that are less fortunate than you and help people in the local community to a great club, West Ham United. Mike, thanks very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it.
We'll see you again soon. Come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons.